Alright, so this time we are going to pick I Respect Kota, and then reset the time loop eventually, so let's do it. Oh, and here's a new scene. With that said, I made it through in One Piece once before, so I'm sure I can do it again. And I know Kira will understand once I explain. With that belief in mind, I turned to her. I'm just saying, no matter how good an actor you are, kissing is a lot to ask. Why don't you do it then?
キリエ、私もあまり本格的なそのシーンにはすべきでないと思うよ。
How about
学生なんだし、
how about a
付き合う
hug?
くらいでどうかな。
How about a hug?
しょうがねえな。ことねえが言うんならそれでいいや。力いっぱい抱擁しろよ。
How?
これでいい？シュウ君。
How would you even put an oomph into a hug? Yes, thank you. This is the way I can bring myself to kiss her when we're not even dating. I'm never snubbed having to hug her, but I should be able to handle this much. Like, how are you gonna put oomph into a hug? Does this make any sense, Carrie? Oh, we got a new scene. It's 9:44 p.m. and the door to the gallery is open. Being fireproof, the art gallery is the only truly safe spot in town. If we do this right, we might be able to save everyone in town. Might being the operative word. Should we really be doing this? Oh. Rika learned about the coming of the second apocalypse 2 years ago. 1 year ago, Rika went missing, leaving everything she learned of Kota. Then this year, I get to experience the full total horror firsthand. I still don't understand anything. Who's behind this? What is their motive? I even received a rather incendiary message from the culprit themselves. After everything we've been through and discovered, it seems wrong to simply run away from it all. Actually, yeah, that's true. Like, because we did learn quite a bit here, so yeah. After all, I promised Yune I would protect the town, and there's no way I can prevent the town's destruction if I choose this path. Once Christmas is over, there's no going back. I have to decide now if I retreat or persist. And most importantly, what my true goal is. Oh, I accept my fate. I won't accept it. Sorry, Kota, I'm going back in time. Or going to the future. I see Kota running toward me, followed by a crowd of students. I have to reset the time loops. Kota, I'm so sorry, but I can't let things end like this. Hearing how I truly feel, a look of shock crosses her face as the meaning of my words sinks in. Yeah, it's for the best. Yes, you taught me so much, Kota. I just couldn't save us in time. I'd had so much fun spending every day with her that I let time slip by without realizing it. There's a part of me that desperately wants to stay here with her, yet I could not leave Yune and Rika's hopes unanswered. This is my fault. I just wasn't good enough. Yet again. She chuckles to herself, almost bitterly when she hears my decision. Yeah. Softly, gently, she embraces me. Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. The warmth from her embrace is almost maternal. It's only slightly shorter than I am, and yet in that moment, feels infinitely taller. I'm so sorry. It's all wrong. This should be the opposite. I should be the strong one. I'm the one who's resetting Kota in the timeline for my own reasons.
シュウ君と同じようにしてたと思うよ。だから気にしないで。
Okay, Kota. But I promise, I won't forget anything you taught me.
よしよし。今までも辛かったんだよね。何も助けてあげられなくてごめんね。
I feel like you did quite a lot, actually. And she strokes my head gently, as if I were a child, all my pent-up emotions come pouring out. This isn't the time. I can't keep clinging to her like this. I'm the only one who can save Kota, the people in this town, and the town itself, in the truest sense of the word.
絶対にうまくやってね。誰も悲しまないように。シュウ君ならきっ
Oh,
とできるよ。
thank you, Kota. Leave it to me. I'll do whatever I can to make sure everyone's safe. One final farewell was inevitable. Even if she forgets the time we shared in December will live on in my flesh and blood.
あ、でも私の裸を見たことは忘れていいからね。
Okay. Sorry, it's burned into my memory.
もう
Lol. Acting as if she's scolding a bratty kid, she giggles. She really is too good for me. Farewell, Kota. I'll see you again very soon.
待ってるね。うまくいったらその時の私にも今日のことを教えてほしいな。
I will, and happily. So yeah, Shu, that was very sweet and all, but did we forget the whole saying about how Yune said we only had 7 more chances and that was our 7th chance? Like, I think he's forgetting because he's assuming we can go back again. Parting is such sweet sorrow. This goodbye is necessary so we might properly reunite later. Turn back. I call it to the miraculous apple I ate that day. Time. With that, I once again find myself back in that intermezzo subspace. Yeah, what's gonna happen now that we used up all the times? Because I think she forgot about that part. Proscritio. An allergy of winter and wheels. Yune, I'm back. I fucked up again.
あ、シュウ、戻ってきた。シュウ？
Yune, I'm here. Sorry, I failed again.
わかった。もしかしてよくなかった？悲しそうな顔してる。
You know I failed? Because I am sad. I'm a failure.
そっか、そうだよね。ごめんね、変なこと聞いて。
It's fine. There's no need for me to tell her my final farewell to Kota. Today, well, maybe not today. I'll keep everything that happened locked in my heart, and someday I will tell Kota everything. Okay, feeling better. Ask me anything you want, Yune.
それじゃあやっぱり。
Oh no.
だ？
Why are you breaking up again? Sounds like you're losing your voice again. Try and calm down. No!
ごめん。声くって。
Why? That's what I was afraid of. Ah! Yune? There's something that seems off. Is it that Yune disappeared into the stratosphere? And I swear for just a moment. Oh.
これでよしと。
Oh my god. Bro, please. Please, no. No, stop. Anybody ever play Saku Saku? If you have, this reminds me of a certain round in that also did that thing and that also freaked me out all the time when it happened. Please stop. I don't want to go for that again.
シュウがいないと喋る相手もいないから出なくなっちゃうのかも。
Yeah, that's what's happening. Are you okay? I hope so.
やっぱり琴葉さんは怪しくなかった？
Yeah? Yes. However, I learned a number of things I didn't know about before.
本当？それなら成果はあったのかな。
Yeah, we became really good friends in one timeline. Yeah, we did. So much so I had a hard time resetting the relationship we built. What? You asked? Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Jeez, Yune, stop glaring at me. What's that look for? Okay, sit down. This one was actually a lot. I give you my report on everything I experienced this time around. Oh no, I'm so worried. I'm so worried for her now. Chapter 11, Part 1. Eva, Prima, Pandora. Why did do the fading say? No. Stop fucking with the game. Okay. Oh, jeez. Bad vibes are rising. Why'd the music cut out abruptly like that for a minute? That scared me too. I'm sorry, but I still need another chance. You told me what the limit was. Even after living that same period of time over and over, I'm no closer to stopping the destruction of the town. I'm still unable to come to grips with the town's fate, which is why I'm back here. Okay. I was able to make it back here, meaning we still have a chance at this. Still. I wonder if I could, based on everything you've learned so far, I think that, yes? It's happening again. Her voice is faint and barely audible. Her symptoms seem to be getting worse by the day. And I was thinking to stay in a space like this between realities where time doesn't exist. Next thing I know, Yune! Come back! Oh. Please stop. You're there now? You scare me. Moving around like that. Okay. Even so, are you okay? Why are you lying to me? I'm still worried, but she said she's okay, then I have no choice but to believe her. Nah, fuck that, I don't believe her at all. I want her to be safe. You know why? You know what, maybe we don't have to reset time, maybe we could just stay here forever. Like you said, desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm sorry, but like you said, desperate times. Anyway, so far I've lived through 11 different Christmases. Dang, 11 different Christmases. Obviously, the first time through is my first for everything. I had no idea what fate awaited us. And I still failed. I wasn't able to stop the explosions, so the only possible way out for the art gallery was blocked off. The door to the art gallery has remained locked ever since then. While it's open in the morning, it's meaningless if we can't use it as an evacuation space. The third time through was even worse, setting up fake workers as if they knew our plans. The fourth time was the same. They always seemed to be one step ahead of us. Our unseen enemy. Someone else besides me who's reloading the consciousness at a designated save point. Knowing the fires in town are caused by explosions, I zeroed in on Kiri. But it's thanks to Kiri that I found that secret underground room. Most likely the same room Rinka snuck into. We still haven't actually seen what was inside there. And I mean the characters themselves, of course. Yeah, they haven't actually seen this because it was dark when he was of Kiri, and then when he was of Kota, the door was locked. So Ricky managed to sneak in 2 Christmases ago. and was then taken to the confessional. That's proof enough something taboo must be hidden there.
じゃあリンカさんはどうやってそこに入ったんだろう。シュウたちと同じ？
I mean, probably. It seems like Carrie learned a lot from Rinka about how she does things, so that would make sense. Honestly, I have no idea. Carrie and I blasted our way into the sewer system, so she must have found a different way in. Granted, if anyone finds out we broke into that room, I might end up with our memories erased just like Rinka. That seems like an odd thing to worry about, considering my amnesia, but there's no way I can stop the apocalypse if I forget about my mission. Yeah, I feel like we were already drugged, to be honest. Now that I think about it, I was with Kota the first time I got a direct message from our mysterious foe.
それでやっぱり向こうもシュウのことを意識してるって分かったんだよね。
Despite working against us, it told us when the art gallery door would open. Information which I ultimately ignored in order to return here once more. I've been faced with a few opportunities to make a run for it and save at least a few people, but I couldn't bring myself to do so. That voice I'd heard in the back of my mind so many times. The one telling me I don't have to deny any of it. The one telling me I don't have to do any of this. I have no idea where that voice is even coming from. If I listen to that voice, though, I have no hope of saving the town. I couldn't bring myself to abandon the town you so desperately wanted to save. There was no way I could just run off.
私だってそうだよ。外に出たいって思ってたわけじゃないし、私たちが過ごしてきた街がなくなるなんて許せないもん。
That's why we're here. Why we're still here. We can finally get the ending we've been waiting for.
でも、たまに思うんだよね。もしかして私たちはしちゃいけないことをしてるのかもって。
I mean, apparently the voice in my head doesn't want me doing any of this, so... Why do you think that?
だってずるじゃない？こんなに何度もやり直して、本当ならこんなことできないのに、私たちだけなんてさ。
Because we are special?
私たちはもしかしたら誰かの大事な運命をねじ曲げようとしてるのかもしれない。そう考えたら、なんか。
I see. Yune. She's a very serious person at heart. I fear what's about my repeated failures about what we're actually doing.
ダメダメ。こんなこと反省してる方がずるいもんね。
It's true. Considering the unforgivable cards we've been dealt, we shouldn't feel bad for fighting back.
よし。でも次はどうしよう。もうシュウの身の回りの人はあらかた当たっちゃったよね。
Yeah. Kiri, Sister Lily, Jack, Sakia, Guido, Yoji, Kota. I've spent 7 advents alongside each of them getting to know them. And yet, I would like to point out how only one of these people doesn't have their eyes open. Just saying. Just saying. And yet, none of them came off as especially suspicious. Are you sure, Shu? One of them came off suspicious multiple different times in different timelines.
シュウはいつもみんなの行動を見てたんだもんね。
I barely left their sides, and now I spent all of Christmas Day with them. Sister Lily? No, she wasn't there. She stood us up, and then it was probably Sister Lily. I mean, Sister Lily. It was probably Leela talking on the radio. Just saying. Out of all of them, though, only Kota was prepared for what was about to happen. Maybe Guido and Sister Lily, too. I never saw them on Christmas night. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Guido, too, but... Sister Lily, though. Oh.
じゃあやっぱりまた別に真犯人がいるのかな。
If I expand the list of suspects to include anyone who knows me, the number grows considerably. The number of folks to investigate would be vast, but it doesn't seem intrinsically wrong. Do we have that much time? However, the feeling that something's wrong persists. As if I'm missing something obvious. Oh no.
あとは。
Please.
そうそう、シュウ。 あのことについては分かった？シュウが私たちに先生って呼ばれていること。
No, I didn't really ask about that. Well, no. I still don't know. I assumed it was just a dream. Some sort of hallucination I've seen a couple of times now. Our relationships and conversations seem dreamlike. It eats at me. Although I've never seen the same hallucination twice, no matter what I do. No. Wait. It can't be. What the hell does it mean?
何が？
Everyone refers to me as a teacher in my dream, but that can't be real, right?
だって私たちでしょ？知らないよ、そんなの。
If it was simply my memory at fault, I could chalk it up to amnesia. Considering no one, not even Yune, notices it, I feel like it's too early to dismiss it as a dream. What's going on? Part of me feels like I shouldn't waste more time on this, but also feel like it's actually pretty important. Let me try again to remember what I dreamt.
ほら、シュウ先生、早くそっちに座って。
Fine, fine. I'm coming. No need to rush.
オルガンを弾く先生の手つき、実にスケベです。
Alright, Sakia.
おいおい、先生よ。女子に囲まれて顔赤くなってねえか？
Absolutely not.
こらこら、キリエもサクヤも先生を困らせるものではないよ。先生っつっても私と同い年だしな。友達にしか思えねえぜ。
Okay, so we were the same age, so.
それはなんとなく同感かも。まあ。
None of it makes sense. I feel as if there's a deeper meaning behind my dreams. Like they're more than just dreams.
正直私もシュウのことを先生なんて呼んだ覚えも全然ないんだけど、もしただの夢だって思えないんなら実際にあったって考えてみたら？
Memories of real events?
それで私たちもシュウみたいに記憶喪失になってるみたいな。ちょっとめちゃくちゃだけどね。
I mean, if that muse drug going around, I mean, I don't know, Yune, I don't know. A bit of a mess. More like a huge mess. It would make sense, though. If what I'm seeing aren't dreams, we have to assume they're snapshots of past events. If you can't remember, then it's possible our memories were lost to the void. Yep, there it is. There it is. Did we all forget? Or was it Muse? There's no possible way all of us, Yune, Kiri, Saki, and myself, were drugged with Muse to make us forget. What do you mean? Why wouldn't that be possible? I think that's entirely possible. Something that's not quite right. It's as if there's a huge clue buried in there, staring me right in the face.
引っかかるって言ったら、私もまだ重すぎる気がするの。
Do you mean you're sending back a third person along with me in this unseen enemy? What?
さすがにこれ以上嫌な人がいるとは思えないんだけど。
Okay, thank goodness. I'm about to say, like, we haven't even got to the second person yet. Oh, I'm about to say, you scare me, Yune.
ただ、それでもやっぱり重いの。と弓を引かなくちゃシュウを飛ばせなくなってる。
She's referring to a metaphor of herself as a bow and me as the arrow. But that's our problem, naturally. Also, if we're facing similar issues, it'd be great if we could solve both of them at the same time. If only there was a way to investigate. Wait! We both cry out as having received the blessings of Muse herself at the same time. I just want to test this out once.
12月2日より前に巻き戻してみるっていうのはどうかな？
I probably couldn't do that at all to begin with. Yune's idea is exactly what I was about to suggest. I was about to ask the same thing. And watch you couldn't send me back any further, though.
できないはずだったけど、事情が変わったかも。
What do you mean? What do you mean the situation changed? There's a lack of confidence in her voice, unsure about her abilities like always. The reason being, she's the only one who understands the depth of her powers. I have no idea what the specific conditions are, but if the option is available, I'm all for trying something we haven't done before. Well, if you say so. In that case, we can go as far back as we want, right?
それは無理。それに、オーロラの外はきっとツリーの範囲外だから、戻せてもシュウが入ってきたとこからだよ。
Yeah, but what is the actual day we arrived at? I see. Why don't we try starting over from the beginning instead of the save point?
ほら、シュウと私たちが出会ったのって11月の終わりくらいだったじゃない？
The 28th. Although I still don't remember the day very well. On that note, what day is it today anyway? I can't remember that either.
11月の28日、水曜日だよ。
That takes me back. The day I first met you. It goes so far as to say that day is the oldest memory I have. At the time, I was so out of it, I didn't know left from right. You know, if you had to help me when you did, I might have frozen to death by the side of a nettle lake.
そっか。じゃあ、その時まで戻っちゃうと、シュウが危ない？
It's just help me again. It won't be a problem because you'll show up to save me. I remember how beautiful the lake looked in that moment. Like something from a fairy tale. And you sounded like an angel. I remember how beautiful Yune looked in that moment.
大げさだよ。
I'm being completely honest. That feeling of us being Adam and Eve was so strong, it remains burned in my memory. And the frost flowers, the way the snowflakes bloomed over the ice was magical. I talk about my memories of that day as if reminiscing on the past. However, her reaction to my words is not exactly what I was expecting.
フロストフラワー？
Huh? Maybe I used the wrong word. The way the snowflakes look on the lake.
それは確かにフロストフラワーって言うけど。
It seems to be a genuine question rather than outright confusion.
今までフロストフラワーの話なんてしたことあったっけ？
Oh yeah, that was Sakia. Sakia told me. Considering it's the first thing I saw here, I have fond memories of them. Frost flowers?
はい。凍った湖の上でお花みたいに咲き誇る雪の結晶。あの現象のことです。フロストフラワーはめったに見られませんからね。ある意味、シュウ先輩はラッキーでした。
I was surprised when she told me it doesn't happen very often. I was pretty lucky to catch a glimpse of them when I first arrived.
ごめん、それって何の関係があるの？
I was just saying. Huh? I was thinking about the first time we met and my memories of how beautiful it was. We don't seem to be on the same wavelength. I didn't mean to complicate things by bringing it up.
シュウが私と初めて会った時の話？
Yeah. Not the day in December you always sent me back to, but the end of November when you carried my unconscious body from a nettle lake. That day in November is a moment we shared, unrelated to our save point. Why'd the music stop? I brought it up expecting her to simply agree with my nostalgic sentiment.
シュウを見つけた時にフロストフラワーなんて咲いてなかったよ。
Excuse the fuck out of me! Yune, do you have a clone or something? What is going on? What?
初めてシュウを見つけた時でしょ？確かに私とサクヤは倒れてるシュウを運んだけど、フロストフラワーなんて見てないよ。
Huh? What?
記憶違いじゃないよ。だって私この冬にはまだ見てないもん。あれって1月とかにならないと咲かないし。
My bad, Holmet. That can't be right. You must not be remembering correctly.
記憶違いじゃないよ。だって私この冬にはまだ見てないもん。あれって1月とかにならないと咲かないし。
January? And I know I passed out near the lake way before then, in November. What the hell? Why aren't our stories matching? I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, bad vibes definitely rising. Is it me? Is there still something I'm not understanding about that period of time? That view of a Nether Lake covered in frost flowers is one of my first memories of this town. I believe it beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I remember seeing Yune standing there singing. Although the details are still a blur, the frost flowers were a prominent part of that scene. And yet,
シュウを見つけた時にフロストフラワーなんて咲いてなかったよ。
Yune is adamant that she hadn't seen any frost flowers. She should have been the first person to find my body lying beside the lake. Why? I have a very bad feeling about this. Apart from the deep-rooted mysteries we've been dealing with, the answer seems to be right in front of me. And yet, I find myself gripped with fear, because once I learn the truth, there's no going back. Could it be? Suddenly, I'm blessed with a flash of inspiration. It turns everything I thought I knew on its head. Yune? Could you send me back to the beginning?
ちゃんとやれるかどうかはわかんないけど。
There's something I need to see for myself. Can you send me back to when I first came to this town?
今の私ならできるようになってると思う。
Thank you. In that case, I'd appreciate it. And me as I am now, I'm kind of used to her referring to herself as that, but it's a little odd.
任せてよ。ってもう限界まで弓を引いて思いっきりシュウを飛ばすから。
Thank you, Yune. She pantomimes drawing a bow back. It's like I'll be smashed to pieces if you use a little too much force, right?
大丈夫なはず。
This time, we're not continuing our game from the save. We're restarting completely. This is perhaps the only chance at retaliation.
でもこれができるのは多分一度きりだと思う。だから。
You better do it this time. She seems to say with a wink. She enters a state of intense concentration as she attempts to gather more power than ever before. I can't begin to understand how hard it is for her to send me, and her unseen foe flying through time. After this time, I promise to never have to do this again. If I'm right, then all my questions will be answered as soon as I get back. Unless my consciousness flying back to that long ago day in the past. Oh, no date. I can hear singing. As a clear, sweet voice fills my head, I realize I'm floating on the brink of unconsciousness. Am I awake? She succeeded. Using a slightly different technique, she delivered me safely to the day in question. My entire body hurts. Seems like I was right. My memories. I remember everything. Oh, we got our memories back? Where I came from. My name. My purpose. I remember everything I brought with me from the outside. I haven't forgotten. Right, I have to act now. My battery life is hanging on a thread. I'm also barely on the edge of what my body can handle. Okay. Using the last of everything I have to do this. I need to keep going. I have to keep going while my memories are still intact. I crawl forward through hazy darkness, led by fluttering firefly-like lights just out of reach. My entire body aches. It's not quite pain, but more like parts of my body are crying out in protest. And then... escape the forest. Open your eyes. It will be there. Oh, Yune? There's my girl. Oh. Did we hear her like actually singing the first time? see an angel. I know she's a human, but the scene before me is far too fantastical for my mind to make sense of it. Maybe nothing more than an hallucination brought on by my severely wounded state, but her voice seems to resonate like a trumpet from heaven. Where am I? Sparkling lights catch my eyes like countless colorful gemstones. It takes a moment before I realize I'm not dreaming. A lake or some other large body of water lies before me. At times it's dark green, at others a deep red or azure like the bright sky. The extraordinary natural canvas blooms of countless frozen snow-white petals. The dazzling contrast of colors is so brilliant that it takes my breath away. About a young girl at the water's edge like she's conducting a symphony of lights. So beautiful. A vision of true paradise. As I gaze at the sight before my decaying body, I can't help but feel hope well up in my heart. After all, this is the Garden of Eden, then surely this girl must be Eve. Oh. Darkness shrouds my fading consciousness. I bid farewell to the world of the living. Or maybe not. This is it! Everything starts from this point on. I jerk my body hard enough to give myself whiplash, desperately trying to keep myself awake. This entire trip back will be pointless if I suddenly pass out. As soon as she notices me, the young girl rushes over, and I feel her hand on the back of my head. I know this. Everything is playing out exactly as I remember it. Yune's worried voice, yet so uncomfortably monotone and timbre. When I first heard, I couldn't figure out why it sounded so odd. But now I do. Very obvious. I don't know. I'm back to the day when I first awoke here. Yune mentioned sent me all the way back past the save point at the start of Advent. There are some things that can only be done and communicated on this day. Well, why am I here? This is my attempt at answering that question. Oh. Hello? You grab her hand before she can grab mine. Hello? She's clearly bewildered. Makes sense. After all, the original me would have never done something like that in this situation. What do you have in your hand? Yune! I can hear her breathing. You could have answered me, but instead she said nothing. No. More like she couldn't say anything. Shu, when you originally passed out, you saw a silver-haired girl named Yune singing by the lake. When you wake up again, you'll be in her room. Also, as an outsider, you won't know anything about this town. Shu, as I know him, passed out here and woke up in Yune's room. That's the original flow of events as I remember them. Huh? Where am I? No, there's the Mona nipple. Feels like so long ago now. You're... And so I meet both Yune and Sakya for the first time. November 28th. Several days before that fateful December 2nd I relived so many times. My plan was to redo all of Advent so I could stop the town's destruction. Like Anna and the girl who jumped through time. I tried to stop it in so many ways. Fighting the perpetrator, dismantling the bombs, stealing the trumpets, and none of it made a difference. I warned everyone, I found various escape routes, but I could never stop the apocalypse from happening. The town met a fiery end every time. Many steps Yune and I took come flooding out. She doesn't make a move to interject, probably because she's satisfied by my exclamation. We fought about it, and we realized the course of events don't play out the same way every time. If I can't change the course of fate, no matter what I do, then there has to be someone working against me. And we called that person our enemy. That was the first hypothesis the two of us came up with between timelines in that subspace. Yune said she thought there might be another era besides mine. She was later proven correct.
今回もアポカリプスは正しく訪れる。あなたにそれを止める手立てはない。
This time as well?
予言の通り、地上の楽園が滅ぼされることは避けられない。ただし、地下はそうではない。
Thanks to the message I received that one time from the person we called our enemy, I knew we were right. Thinking back, you sent me that message, didn't you? You even told me. Only somebody who lived that fateful course of events could have phrased that message in just that way. One might say we were on an even playing field, and yet I still couldn't figure it out. Aside from that one recorded message, she left no trace of her presence. Or more accurately, she left nothing behind that I noticed. If we really were on equal footing, then we would have come to face at some point. But you were always one step ahead. When I thought I found the Brickers, they turned out to be dummies. When I tried evacuating into the art gallery, the door was suddenly locked. I always had an escape route of sorts, but any attempt at stopping the apocalypse itself was blocked at every turn. So I thought to myself, look at it on a fundamental level. Perhaps I discovered the key to all this a long time ago. She stood so, listening silently, her hands still tightly clasped in mine. The reason why I could never stop it, no matter how many times I try. The reason why there is anyone else aware of the time loop besides myself. Only Yune, who ate the red apple of life, can turn back time. And only I, who ate the green apple of wisdom, can retain my memories. That was the original codependent nature of our relationship, and it should have been problem-free. However, the playing field between me and my unseen enemy was never level to begin with. Especially considering this other person was always restarting from a date before us. That explains everything. They were able to jump back a few days further than me by using the force from Yune's bow to propel them. They were able to restart from a different save point from the one Yune and I had created for our prayers. They always restarted the timeline from December 2nd, and by then it was already too late. Why was that? I originally came here to teach at the academy.
シュウ先生、この絵は？
I don't.
おい先生、じゃあこれは？
I have no clue. Picasso maybe? Or Van Gogh?
先生なのに全然わかってないんですね。
Look, it's not my fault. I don't know anything about art. I caught a glimpse of those images of me as a teacher while in that subspace. What I saw was neither a dream nor a hallucination. They were images of a future that should have been. Oh, of the future? I thought it was the past! However, the path I should have taken was corrupted by a certain someone.
シュウさんの転入手続きについてです。聖夜レイヤーの名前にピンとくるものがあったと聞いています。それに自信がないことは重々承知ですが、学校で過ごせば見えてくるものもあるかもしれませんし、何よりこの町にいる以上はこの町で生活をしなくてはなりません。シュウさんのお気持ち次第ですが、いかがでしょうか。
Me entering St. Ari as a student instead of a teacher was the initial rip in that original reality. Which makes today no longer the actual today, the main reason why I've been unable to stop the apocalypse from happening. Knowing what I do now, I could say with absolute certainty, and that reason is, I remember everything. I remember why I came here, and I know exactly what day today is. On that note, what day is it today anyway? I can't remember that either.
11月の28日、水曜日だよ。
November. I had passed out, covered in wounds, only to wake up later on in Yune's room where I'd asked the date. Then the next day, Thursday, November 29th, I transferred into St. Aria Academy. All of that's true. I know it is. Right now, there are the frost flowers floating on Oneta Lake. Those beautiful snow flowers in full bloom. It's a mysterious yet naturally occurring phenomenon that can only be seen on Oneta Lake. However, frost flowers only occur in January. Oh no, that voice. I have no reason to doubt Yune since she's lived here all her life. Frost flowers can only be seen on Oneta Lake in January. That means the first time I came here was January, not November. I passed out at Oneta Lake and came to in Yune's room. I naturally assumed I spent only one night asleep there. But in reality, there was a 10-month gap between when I arrived and when I started attending school. That said... what the fuck? I'm right, Honai. Sakia? Is that why you didn't have a romance ending? But like, why? That was the last thing I was expecting. The girl very slowly raises her head. Sakia? But why? The fuck? She's like the most innocent one. The fuck? Okay, well... huh? Why? The silver wig slipped from her head, revealing Saki underneath. She was wearing a silver wig. Why were you posing as Yune? There's a mixture of panic and confusion reflected in her eyes, as if she's unsure what to say. To be fair, we'd only just met, and I was in no state of mind to notice anything at the time. Although both girls were around the same, their uniforms were noticeably different. Now it's a different story, but back then, I wouldn't have been able to differentiate them by profile alone. Dude, was that also when they made that comment that one time where it's like Yune and Saki look pretty similar? Was that foreshadowing? Goodness gracious. I'd passed out, and I woke up. I was in Yune's room. I had no reason to doubt Saki when she initially told me the girl at the lake was Yune. I've come to know both Yune and Saki very well, but back then, after only having met them both for the first time, I was easily duped. Goodness gracious. That's Yune's actual uniform. She made the wig from her own hair. Like the doll comment? Oh my gosh, there it is. She used her hair to make a wig or something.
咲夜がね、どうせ切るなら欲しいって。
Bruh. That foreshadowing is insane. I can see why. You do have an unusual haircut that's very pretty. Yeah, very pretty. What the fuck? And that voice. It's clearly Yune wooden acting. It's clearly Yune's wooden acting voice. I thought it sounded familiar. That's how she sounded in Kiri's movie, Rinka Man.
あんな強化人間相手じゃ生身の私では勝ち目が。ちょっと大丈夫？くそ、指がピクリとも動かねえ。まあ大変。こんなに傷だらけ。
Hearing that line again triggered a memory. Instead of hiding behind a distorted voice this time, she'd used a pre-recording. If only Yune was a slightly better actor, perhaps it wouldn't have been as noticeable. Oh. Eva Prima Pandora. Or in other words, Pandora from Eve. I mistakenly thought the first woman I met in this town, so reminiscent of Eden, was Eve. However, she was none other than Pandora, the epitome of disaster inadvertently unleashed on the world. You had her hair, her voice, and her clothes. Even the same height. I've been an easy target considering I only just met you and was barely conscious. No. This is the result of her having gone out of her way to manipulate my senses and memories. I feel like your abundant cleavage should have been a dead giveaway, though. When I first arrived here, I woke up into a double image, a copy. I'd easily accepted what I'd been told, assuming the first girl I met by another lake was Yune. Now I know the truth. The situation was playing out in a way that Sakia hadn't experienced before, meaning she had no script to fall back on. Sakia, you're the other arrow who's been flying back with me this whole time. You're the one who's been thwarting every single attempt I've made to change our destiny. What about the Noah's Ark we made together, though? What about that? He doesn't answer, but his silence is telling. Yune said it herself, but there was no way I should be that heavy. That's what led me to realize she was actually shooting 2 arrows, but even so, she thought the weight didn't make sense. So we thought about it, and we reached the same conclusion at the same time. If one arrow went further back, then that would explain the discrepancy. That extra weight Yune was feeling. Not only was she feeling the weight of both Sakia and me, she was also dealing with the backlash of sending Sakia to the previous year. That's right. Yune's been carrying your weight this entire time, simply so I could return. Going off her bow and arrow analogy, something akin to physical strength. Her body's grown so accustomed to shooting me back to December 2nd that she was finally able to extend the distance. How far back did she send you? I remember starting from December 2nd, 2018. Advent starts on the first Sunday of December, meaning the date changes every year. Have you really been restarting from the beginning of Advent in 2017? I remember starting from our save point on December 2nd, 2018, and naturally assumed this other person did as well. I didn't realize other save points existed that we could reload time from. But this person Yune determined was our enemy, Sakia, had been restarting from a much earlier point all along. Which means today, January 27th, 2018, is in the midst of a revisited time loop. There's no reason why she couldn't do in the past year what Yune and I were trying to accomplish in a month. Just that the save point she's been reloading from is further back in that time than ours. That's not all. There's one thing you don't know, Sakia. I spent a lot of time at the St. Ari Academy by this point. As a student, of course. But several times when Yune drew back her bow, I saw it. Visions of me as a teacher. I've been trying to figure out what it meant. In fact, I thought at first I must be dreaming, but I was wrong. They weren't dreams but glimpses of a reality. Because the teacher version of myself exists in some timeline. A memory I still don't possess even now. What is the point behind these silhouettes of a future I can only see as dreams? The easy answer is you, Sakia. Because you ate an apple before we did. Said she's been restarting from the start of Advent in 2017. Which means she took a bite of an apple before ours even existed. Also, you were given the same power of time travel as Yune. And that year, neither Yune nor I found the apples we would later eat from. The first time we discovered those apples would have been sometime after Sakia's second time around. Because of course she has her own save point where she can reload from. During the original timeline, I lived here in this town as a teacher. It's a reality I retain zero memories from. In other words... It was only because Yune kept shooting Sakia back in time that I was able to catch a glimpse of those memories. This obscure mystery has been haunting me for so long, but I finally understand. You reset the time I'd spent here as a teacher, correct? She mutters tonelessly under her breath, as if she's realized there's no point in lying any longer. Me as a teacher? I have no idea what my life was even like during that time. Probably because I hadn't yet eaten one of the apples of wisdom. My normal life, devoid of that miraculous apple's influence, was corrupted by her save data. That's what really happened. Which also means that it's her fault that I, at some point, switched from living here in a town as a teacher to a student. The muse she's holding so tightly in her hand speaks for itself. Simply redo life itself to change what you can't accept. I can't believe she's been doing the same thing I was for so much longer. No way touche be more appropriate. So then, you continue going back, triggered by Yune's own time travel, thus following the chain of events I'm familiar with. Sakia, whose save point is much earlier than ours, always reloaded from there every time we reset the timeline. He was forced back even when someone else pushed the reset button. I've been reliving the same period from December 2nd until the 25th, Christmas. You've had to relive an extra year on top of that.
こうしてシュウ先輩と出会うのももう何度目かわかりませんね。
It's unbelievable. Just having to relive those same 23 days over and over was enough to make me feel like I was going crazy. She's been reliving that same time period plus a year, and she's gone for at least several loops more than I have.
お察しの通り、シュウ先輩を学院に入れるよう仕向けたのは私です。そうでないと支障が出るので。
Tell me, Sakia, why did you do this? Yes, please, that's what I really want to know. She doesn't answer. The light that usually shines in her eyes, tinge of loneliness, is gone. I want to know why. The motive you've kept to yourself this whole time. What you destroyed the town over.
なんか正直ですね。私がここでシュウ先輩に危害を加えるとかは考えないんですか？
No. Of course not. You'd never do something like that.
本当に先輩は。
If I'd been dealing with someone I saw as my enemy, I might have considered it. But this is Sakia. There's a way she could have ever truly hoped the apocalypse would destroy the town. I know that because...
昨夜は先輩と一緒に生きていられるならそれ以上は望みません。
Uh-huh.
隣に先輩がいてくれるならどんな壁だって乗り越えられるって信じてますから。
That smile she gave me in that moment proves it, without a doubt. And I'm sure Saki remembers that moment too. Also, the way I am now is problematic, huh? Now that I remember everything, or rather since I haven't forgotten anything, I've just arrived here in town. I know exactly why I came here and I know what I need to do. I'm here to put a stop to the apocalypse. Save the town from being wiped out. That's right. My objective is clear from the start. Although I lost my original memories, I met Yune, and through the miracle she performed, I found myself embracing the same mission as before. I can't lose my memories again, so please, I'm begging you, let me stay the way I am. He still remains silent. There must be a reason why she came to see me today. If there's anything I can do, I promise I'll do it. Whatever it takes to stop... Her pain stabs through my back. Hello? Sakia?
シュウ先輩は意地悪です。こうなったのも全部先輩のせいなのに。
What do you mean? You still didn't answer why you did the thing. What did you say? There's something wrong with me. My vision is growing blurry. My remaining strength is rapidly draining from my body. Sakia?
先輩と一緒にいたかったのに。
Hello? Yeah? I feel something drip onto me. As I lay there, I feel a single drop of water from the lake fall on my cheek.
忘れてください。何もかも。
She then takes out a slip of paper, mews, and places it on her tongue.
さようなら。
Sakia? As I lay there, unable to move, she kisses me softly. Oh, fuck, no! The memories! Chapter 12, Part 1, The Divine Persona. Okay, well, so we found who the culprit was? Goodness gracious, what the fuck? She still didn't say why? She didn't tell us why.
先輩は
お
この後またユネ先輩の部屋で目覚めます。 ですが、もうそこに私はいません。その必要もないんです。
Sakia?
先輩は私のことを選んではくれませんでしたから。
Oof. I mean, you know,
忘れてください。願わくは私のことなんて全部。
okay, well, that's extremely depressing. But yeah, so, goodness gracious, yeah, okay, that was definitely a lot. But yeah, Unelli, so we found out that Sakura was the culprit, but she's not telling us much. She seems really sad and depressed though, so like I want to know what the fuck was going on for her, why all this ended up happening, but goodness gracious. So, sorry, Sister Lily.